Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. So one of the questions I get asked quite often is, should I play an open string or use a fourth finger? Now, when you've come to that choice, ask yourself these 4 questions. Number 1, will it avoid a string crossing? Number 2, do we want to create a different tone? Number 3, do we want a vibrato or not? And number 4, what do I think sounds best? So what I thought I would do is play you a piece of music that is designed to have some fourth fingers in, and I'll play it with fourth fingers, or I'll play a little bit with fourth fingers, then I'll play a little bit with open strings and mix it, just so you can sort of hear the difference. So the first question I mentioned, will it avoid a string crossing? So just simply enough, does it mean that you're going to have to cross from one string to another? Crossing from one string to another just means that you're potentially going to get a lot of buzz in between from all the strings. So we don't really want to be doing things like that if we can help it, because it disrupts the sound. You've got a big open string resounding in the middle, so we don't really want to do that. So if it avoids a string crossing, then that's always great to do a fourth finger, and that's generally sort of in faster-ish type passages. Now, do we want to create a different tone? If we want to create a different tone with it, again, we've got an open string, which is obviously resounding. When we do the fourth finger, obviously we don't get any of that because we don't have the acoustics that are ringing around the violin. But that's great, and a lot of people like open strings, but we don't always want that kind of sound. We don't want a big resounding sound in a nice kind of soft sonorous piece of music that's supposed to be a little bit more melancholy, for example. We don't want a bright open sound in there. So do we want to create a different tone? You know, we can use a fourth finger to kind of dampen down the tone, or if we do want a nice bright tone, we can use an open string. Now, question number 3, do we want to do vibrato? This is just an obvious one. I mean, if you've got an E or an A and you want to do vibrato on it, you've got a long note at the end. Obviously we can't do vibrato on an open string. So if you want to do vibrato for that final note or whatever it is, then you're going to have to use the fourth finger. And then the last question, what do I think sounds best? Well, again, you're going to have to try this out. So what I'm going to do is play you a piece of music. By the way, all of this information can be found in Violin Book 2. This is part of my 1 to 30 violin course. All about the fourth finger is lesson 15, page 24. So if you want to know a little bit more about the fourth finger and things like that, head on over to my course. I'll put a link to that directly underneath this video. But for now, I'm going to play you a little bit of Meadow Air. This is a piece of music in the book 2 that I was talking about. And I've written this piece, and this has some fourth fingers and some open strings. So I'm going to play the first section for you with open strings, and then I'm going to play it as it should be with fourth fingers. Okay, so that's just the first part. Now, none of that really should be played with open strings at all. It should be played with fourth fingers. Number 1, it's a classic example of all of those questions 1 to 4, isn't it? Where we're crossing the strings. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, how messy does that sound for starters? I've been playing a long time, and even for me, that's quite messy because it just really isn't ideal. So this is the perfect example. Now, do we want to do vibrato? Yes, we do want to do vibrato. And do we want to change the tone? Yes, we absolutely do want to change the tone, because it's just, there's just something that doesn't sound right about it. And then the final question, do I think I want to change the tone? Yes, I absolutely do, because for all those reasons above, it's just too complicated. So now let's do it with the fourth finger. So how much better is that? Because I'm able to get some better slurred bows in there as well, rather than having to play it all separate bows because we've got string crossings. And I can put a lot of vibrato on about another 50% more of the notes because they're not being wiped out by being open strings. Now, we did have an open A in there. That's absolutely fine because I wanted that to be a nice and open A. You know, I think that sounded nice. But to play it again with the open strings, now, even if I do that with some slurred notes as well, that sounds a lot better, but it's still just a bit disjunct in there because there are some open E's thrown in. Now, if I do that again with fourth, so it's just a lot more cohesive, isn't it? Everything just sounds a lot more together. So that's just a little snippet. I just wanted to talk to you a little about the fourth finger just so you can see and get a little bit more of an idea about the fourth finger. And again, don't forget that there is a lot more information as part of this course in that lesson from my book 2. Lesson 15, page 24, and Meadow Air is on the page before that if you want to learn how to play Meadow Air. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.